Hello everyone, we're back once again. If you don't already know who I am, I'm Tim with Golf Cart Garage. We're going to go over some golf cart questions here. I am a member of the Gearheads on Demand service that is offered at Golf Cart Garage. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this episode. We've got a few questions here we're going to go over, and maybe we'll talk to some live people in the chat. If you're in the chat, if you're watching live, make a comment, ask a question, say what's up, Tim. Let's see. Well, since the garage is open, let's go ahead and get started with the questions for today. Let's see, number one. I have a Powerwise 2 charger. It clicks on and off constantly. What is my problem? Well, it's a common scenario. People ask me, they tell me what their charger is doing on their cart, and I always give the same answer. Do you have access to another charger, or do you have access to another cart? Like, does your friend down the street have the same cart? Like, I always like to, because what we need to do there, obviously, is we need to eliminate what it is. It is either your charger or it's your batteries, one or the other. Your batteries are either throwing a fault code to the charger, making it act crazy, or there's something wrong with the charger itself. It'd be very easy to eliminate by trying that charger on a known working cart. So that's what I would want to do first in that situation. That's what I always want to do. Now, when I had the golf cart shop, it was very convenient for me to do that because I always had another golf cart sitting there beside me. I know it's not as easy for a person, privately owned golf cart, in order to do that, but you probably can find somebody. There's lots of golf carts out there. That's what I would want to do, just eliminate which one it is. It's either your batteries or your charger. Now, voltage readings on your batteries may help determine if the batteries also. Let's see, number 2. I have a 2018 Club Car with a 6-inch Madjax lift and 22-inch tall tires. It's about 83 inches tall. It won't fit in the garage of a house I'm building. I need about 4 inches off the height. Thinking about changing to a 3.5-inch lift and 20-inch tires, but not sure. Well, that should do it. That should do it. If you change to that lift and go to 20-inch tires, that should get you enough. But what you could do is go ahead and do that and see where you're at. And what I have seen people also do, I have seen people chop their basically chop the top. They take about an inch or two out of their roof struts and have them welded back together. Like, take an inch out of your front roof struts and take an inch out of your rear roof struts. Or if you want to, you can change the angle of your roof, if you're going to do that anyway. But do what you said first, and if that's not enough, then you might have to take another inch out of your roof struts. I've seen people do that, and they make the car look kind of cool too. Let's see, number 3. I have a 2009 Club Car Precedent. It only goes 7.5 miles per hour. The batteries are good, speed sensor is good. Club car dealer put in a new controller to check, and cart wouldn't move at all. They put the old controller and everything works fine, only the cart still tops out at 7.5 miles an hour. The computer checked it and it is set for normal speed. M-Cor is good. They suggested it could be the wiring harness or the motor. Service department at the dealer didn't have a wiring harness in stock, and they put a new motor in it. If they put a new motor in it, I would have to buy it, whether it fixed the problem or not. I need advice on what to purchase or ideas for troubleshooting. I don't want to waste the money on a new motor and controller combo if not necessary. See, I hate to hear stories like that when they went to the dealer, because there's lots of red flags in your description there. The slowest that car should possibly go would be about 12 miles an hour. I don't even know how you could make it go 7.5 only, unless there was an M-Cor issue or a speed sensor issue. And probably speed sensor, because an M-Cor that only allowed 7.5 would be really, really way off. Usually an M-Cor just a little bit of variance in the speed, but 7.5 is way off, like speed sensor territory. Now, the reason I say there's some red flags in your story is that you said they plugged their computer in, and they should have read the fault codes. If your car is only going 7.5, it should be throwing up a fault code. It should have thrown up a fault code for speed sensor, if it was a speed sensor. Yes, it would be easy to check the M-Cor. If they did verify that the M-Cor was going to 100% or wide open throttle, then that's correct. But they should have been able to see something with your speed sensor or whatever. They should have seen something if the car is only going 7.5. So that's why I don't like to hear stories like that, because it makes dealers look bad sometimes, and I don't like exactly how they treated you, because they should have picked up something, and the fact that if they changed the motor you were going to have to buy it, whether it fixed the problem or not. I don't know about that either. But anyway, it sounds like a speed sensor issue to me. That's all I know. But they should have been able to see a fault code on their computer. Let's see. 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗃 Golf Cart Services. What's up, 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗃 Golf Cart Services? In the Facebook chat. Glad to have you. We got Craig35 in the YouTube. What's up, Craig35? Hello, Gearhead. Which upgrade category would you recommend doing first? Drivetrain and battery, suspension and tires, or body cosmetics? 2009. Thanks. Love the vids. Craig, I always tell people any type of upgrade, when you have a long-term goal, or you know what your vision is of your cart, you know what you want to do, but you just don't want to fork out all the money to do it all at once, always do the controller first. Get that out of the way, because you can put as big a controller as you want to on any cart, and it's not going to hurt a thing. It's not going to hurt anything. And you'll be ready for your other upgrades. I always like to get my performance right too before I do the cosmetics. So in other words, you get your motor, your controller, your power, get all that correct how you want it, and then do your cosmetics. But when you start with the electrical, always do your controller first. We got 𝗚𝗏𝘃𝗃. What's up, Ayman? Hi, Tim. I really like your videos. Glad to have you, man. Let's see. 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗃 Golf Cart says they come from Thailand. Glad to have Thailand in the house. What's up? Let's see. Number 4 is where we were at. I have 2003 Yamaha G22E gasoline engine golf cart. I cannot get it to accelerate. I have replaced the solenoid, carburetor, fuel pump, and fuel filter. Is there a controller on this model gas engine? If so, where is it located? What would replacement item be in your catalog? Otherwise, can you tell me why the engine will not accelerate? Thank you. I have found over the years that a lot of people, they don't describe symptoms the exact same way that I would. Like just because I've been around carts so much in my life, I have a tendency to use a certain language when I'm talking about symptoms, and I found that my customers didn't always use the same language. So I actually had to learn over the years what could they be talking about. And a lot of people, when they talk about a gas car, they tell me that it cranks but it won't go. And I say, well, I don't understand that. Or that it won't accelerate. It cranks and idles. I've heard people tell me that all the time, that it cranks and idles, and the golf cart doesn't idle. So I had to figure out what they're talking about. And a lot of times what they're talking about is when they step on the accelerator pedal, the starter turns the motor over. Well, the motor's just sitting there turning over. Well, some people think that means it's running. Well, it's not running. That's just the starter generator turning the motor over, trying to crank the car. It's not cranked. So I'm assuming, because of that, I'm assuming that what you're asking me is that's what's happening. It's turning over when you hit the accelerator pedal, but when you say it's not accelerating, you mean that it won't crank. The motor's not actually cranking. It's just sitting there trying to crank. So what you have to do is you have to figure out what you're missing. You got to have 3 things for that car to crank. You got to have fuel to the carburetor, Actually 4 things, because there's 2 parts to the carburetor thing. You got to have fuel getting to the carburetor. That's easy to verify. You can pull the fuel line off of the carburetor and then turn the motor over, and fuel should spit out of the fuel line. That's the first thing you got to verify. You have to verify that fuel is getting past the carburetor. You can verify that by, after several attempts of trying to crank it, take the spark plug out and see if your spark plug is wet. If the spark plug is wet, then fuel is getting past the carburetor. You need to verify that you have spark, and you need to verify that you have compression. You got to have fuel, spark, and compression. And the fuel has to not only get to the carburetor, but get past the carburetor. So you got to figure out which one of those you're missing. Start with fuel and then go from there. Let's see. 𝗟𝗂𝘃𝗲𝘃, love your videos, Tim. Very useful tips. I hope I didn't mess your name up too much there, sir or ma'am. I've never seen a name like that. 𝗟𝗂𝘃𝗃. Just tell me if I'm close or not. But anyway, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Number 5. I have a 2013 EZ-GO RXV electric golf cart. I want it to go 30 miles per hour or greater. It currently goes 23. What parts do I need to make my cart go faster? There's several routes you can take. By the way, if you're going 23 right now with the EZ-GO RXV, it must be set to wide open. So you're right up there at wide open speed for sure. And I'm assuming everything is stock. Like I'm assuming your tire height stock and you're doing 23, or you got taller tires on it and you're doing 23, because that seems pretty fast. But anyway, the next thing you could do, if you have enough power, if your cart has enough power now, and I don't mean speed, I mean power. Does it have? Are you lacking in power? Are you unable to climb your hills in your neighborhood, or because when you go with taller tires, you're going to lose a little bit of torque. If you've got plenty of torque still, then you go with taller tires, will speed you up a little bit. You can also go with high-speed gears in the rear end. You can leave your tires alone and replace your gears in your rear end with high-speed gears. Now, there's probably 2 for your car, an EZ-GO RXV. There's probably 2 different sets of high-speed gears you can get. The highest speed is going to be about 6-to-1. That would be the really high-speed gears. If you got plenty of power, you can pull 6-to-1s, and you'd probably be getting close to 30 right there if you're doing 23 on the stock gears. Now, if that's not enough, then you could go with one of our combo kits for an RXV, and it includes a motor, controller, and a solenoid. And they even tell in the description of the different combo kits the percentage of speed increase and the percentage of torque increase. You could go that route, or you could go with a complete changeover to a ���𝗏 system, a complete AC 𝗃𝗏 system in your car. You could go that route. So there's several routes you could take to get to 30 and above. Just depends on how much money you want to spend, on your first try. The easiest or the cheapest would probably be just go with high-speed gears and see where that gets you. Jennifer Brown. What's up, Jennifer Brown? Same question as Craig for Club Car Precedent 2011 gas powered. Same question as Craig. Okay, what was Craig's? Okay, a gas powered. Let's see. And you want to know about which upgrade category would you recommend doing first? So Jennifer, you're wanting to go faster? You want your Club Car Precedent 11 gas powered to go faster? Is that what you're wanting? Because in a gas car, the easiest way to do that is leave everything alone. Leave the governor alone. I know people love to tweak the governor and stuff on gas cars. Just leave the governor alone and put a set of high-speed gears in your car. A gas car will compensate for the torque loss that I talked about earlier that you get when you go with taller tires or with high-speed gears. The gas car, the way the clutches operate, will compensate for that, so you don't lose as much torque in a gas car as you do in an electric when you go with high-speed gears or taller tires. So I would definitely recommend, if you wanted to go faster in the gas one, put high-speed gears in it. That would be a good upgrade. if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for speed. Okay, number 6. I have a 2012 Club Car Precedent 48. The cart will buck after around 15 or 16 holes of play. The batteries tested 8.3 each after a round before charging. What do you think is the problem? Well, if bucking, I would have to ask you more questions about that description of bucking. Is it stuttering? Because if it happens after 15 to 16 holes of play every time, then something is obviously dropping out. Okay, the most likely candidate of dropping out at a certain time in the course, like 15 or 16 holes, the most likely thing is going to be one of your batteries is dropping out. Now, I know you said you read the voltage that, 8.3, but what I would want to see is the voltage when it drops out, when it starts bucking. I'd want to see voltage at that time. You may find that after 15 or 16 holes, one of your batteries is weaker than the rest, and it's dropping out and causing the car to buck. And then as soon as you quit putting pressure on it, the voltage can come back up. And then you go to the clubhouse and you read it, and it's right. Well, that's because it's not under load. That battery is failing failing quicker than their other batteries. Your battery pack, they never ever all die at the same time. One of your batteries is going to go bad before the other 5 or before the other 3. If you got a 12-volt system, they never die at the same time. So you could have a battery that's dying prematurely. That the rest aren't. The rest are good, but it only takes one to cause a buck or a shudder or like that. Okay. Just checking on questions. Let's see, number 7. Hi, I have a 2010 Club Car Precedent electric that is sitting low when compared to other Club Car Precedents. It also bottoms out at times. It does not have a rear seat and is only used for golf. I plan to replace the rear springs and bushings, but was not sure if I should buy the heavy-duty springs, and if so, what, if any, impact would it have on the ride and height? Your help would be appreciated. Any help would be appreciated. Well, it wouldn't be unusual at all for your springs to be worn out and weak. Over time, golf cart springs do get weak, and they will sag sometimes, or they'll lean to the driver's side, because there's a lot of time spent in a golf cart that only one person drives it, and they drive from the driver's side all the time, and then eventually that spring on that side gets weaker than the other one, or is compressed longer than the other one, so the golf cart will lean to the driver's side. If it's been used a lot with 2 big heavy bags of clubs on the back, 2 big men in it, and they've been playing golf, it's been playing golf all of its life, it could wear the springs out. Eventually those springs get worn out. Shocks don't really do much on a golf cart. They don't hold the car up, except on Yamahas. It's a little different, but club cars and EZ-GOs, it's really just the springs that are holding up the cart and actually setting the ride height of the cart. It's the springs that are doing that, not the shocks. So what I'm saying is, you should not need heavy-duty springs on your cart unless you have a rear seat on the back, or you're going to be carrying around a tremendous amount of weight. You probably just need to replace your existing springs with just some stock springs, and that should fix everything. Because if you did go with heavy-duty springs and you didn't have a rear seat on the back, it would be pretty stiff in the rear. It would be pretty stiff. Yeah, you probably wouldn't like the ride quality. So just go with a brand new set of regular springs, and you should be fine. Craig says, how many ply tires come stock on most carts? I believe that the stock Carlisle are hole-in-ones, or the regular stock, I think they're 4. You don't get into 6-ply and 8-ply until you get into some of the more aggressive, some of the bigger tires, if I'm not mistaken. I believe most of them are going to be 4-ply tires, stock golf cart tires. Let's see. Number 8. I purchased your LED light kit for my 2002 Club Car DS a few months back. When I'm driving and the lights are on, my speed is reduced 80%. I never had this problem with my factory lights. What could be causing this problem? I don't know. I would have questions because your lights are hooked up to a completely different circuit than anything to do with your car running. They should be hooked to a 12-volt circuit that is separate from your card. So your lights are either hooked to a separate 12-volt battery that has nothing to do with your car batteries, or they should be hooked to a voltage reducer that is producing a usable 12 volts, or if your car is 36 volts, they could be hooked across two 6-volt batteries. But none of that should reduce your speed 80%, especially 80%. That seems like a drastic amount. So I'd have to know how your lights are hooked up. Where are they getting their power from? That's what I would need to know. Let's see here. What do you, Session 1 Golf Cart Services in Thailand ask, what do you think for battery deep cycle or lithium in the future? Well, I definitely have thoughts on that. I could talk about that for a long time, but it's definitely going to be lithium. I mean, the advantages to lithium are just too great. There's no downside to lithium compared to lead acid. There's no cons except for the price, and the price is coming down. You know, every 6 months price is coming down because there's more competition. Competition breeds, lowering in prices. So the lithium golf cart batteries are becoming more and more and more available for golf carts every day, and therefore creating more and more and more competition, so the prices are coming down. So it is definitely going to be a lithium future. If you just look and see what lithium did to the cordless tool industry, it completely changed it, turned it upside down completely. We've got a cordless tool now for everything you could possibly think of, from vacuum cleaners to screwdrivers and everything else in between. And that is because of lithium. They're so powerful that they were able to make all kinds of new tools that they couldn't make before with our other battery technology, whether it be NiCad or just that was pretty much nickel-cadmium is what they were using before lithium, or lead acid. But anyway, that's like I said, I could talk for way too long about that. So number 9. I have a 2014 Yamaha 48-volt G29 Drive golf cart that I would like to upgrade to get a little more speed out of. 48 volt. It runs around 13. Would like to get it up to 18 to 20. It has all stock equipment and regular size tires. I was looking at an Alltrax XCT48400 controller and wondering if this will work for my existing equipment, or is there more I'd have to upgrade. You got the 𝗏𝘃𝗃𝗁 controller in there. Well, here's the advice I would give. You obviously are planning on future upgrades, and I said this earlier in this episode, that since you are planning on future upgrades, replace the controller first. Don't even worry about if that's going to make your car fast, or if that's going to get you to your goal. That's going to be the foundation for your goal, is to change that controller first, so your car is ready for other things. Like if that doesn't do it, then put the high-speed motor in it. You'll be ready to put a high-speed motor. See, if you put a high-speed motor in it now with your existing controller, you could damage your controller. It may put too much strain on your controller. So upgrade your controller first. Therefore, anything you put in there is not going to hurt it. It's ready for it. That's a big, heavy-duty, robust controller. And a high-speed motor is going to make it work. It's going to make it work really hard, but you'll be ready for that. That's why the controller is the foundation for all other upgrades, especially when we're talking about performance upgrades. Let's see. Greg Tuberville. What's up, Greg? How important are the run tow switch? Well, it's very important if you're going to tow it. That's for sure. If you're going to tow a car, if you have a run tow switch in under your seat, it's a lever that says tow maintenance or run and tow, and your car breaks down and you have to get towed, and you don't put that in tow, and you end up towing it a long distance, you're going to mess things up really, really bad. It causes a lot of damage. I've seen those in my shop where they literally have caught on fire and just burned up everything. It will burn up the motor, first of all. It will. I've even seen it to where it burned the motor, it blew the controller, and it did something weird to the batteries. It made the batteries get so hot that the tops of the batteries were wavy, where the plastic had actually melted to the point where it was wavy. They didn't bust, but they got really, really hot. So anyway, it's really only important if you're going to tow your car, or if you're going to do any work on it. If you're going to start messing around with cables and do changing solenoids or just doing anything with your batteries in general, put it in tow before you start doing anything. Let's see. Craig says, can I run polyglass bias tires, ply tires on the back and give it a California rake? Just kidding. Well, sure you can. You don't have to be kidding. I mean, you can do anything you want, Craig. That might look cool. Let's see. Number 10. This is the last regular question from Mark. I bought a used 96/97 club car, and when you press the accelerator pedal, it clicks and jerks to take off. Also, when in reverse, it jerks, then clunks when you let off. Is there a simple fix? From Mark. Well, there is almost never a simple fix. I mean, it does happen sometimes. Sometimes there's a simple fix. I fixed a lot of golf cars before the customer even took it off the trailer. That's happened. So sometimes there is a simple fix. In your case, I would have some questions, and that would make it less simple. Because in 96 and 97, you could have that weird potentiometer that Club Car used in 96 and into 97. I think from 90, they only used it for about a year and a half, but I don't remember exactly where the cutoff is. If you don't have V-Glide, V-Glide is that triangular shaped box. If you don't have that, if you don't see that when you look under the seat right beside one of your batteries or right under your charging receptacle, if you don't see the V-Glide box right there, then you got that weird potentiometer that's up underneath your car. And that one can cause your car to do exactly what you're asking. It can cause it to solenoid click, because there's a micro switch inside this potentiometer that could be working fine, but then the rheostat part of the potentiometer, you might have to push the gas pedal way too far, and then all of a sudden it comes in and it causes your car to jerk. It could be that. They cause lots of problems. The worst part about that is that they're not even available anymore. You can't even buy a new one of those anymore, and you have to get what is called a pre-M-Cor to M-Cor conversion kit. It's about $480 something for this kit, and the last time I checked it at our company at Golf Cart Garage, it was out of stock. You could call up and talk to one of the customer service representatives. We have the most amazing customer service team ever. They would know more about maybe possible restocking of that item than I would. They might know more about availability of it if it's still out of stock. But if you have that old potentiometer, that's really your only choice, unless you're very, very electronic. I did talk to a electronically minded and technical. I did talk to a customer recently that took his out and repaired it. He actually took the component out and found the actual small component. It's of the potentiometer itself, and found one at an electrical supply shop and soldered it back in place and fixed his own. And he wasn't sure how long it was going to last, but he did it himself. So that's possible also. Let's see here. That looks like it's about it for today. I've started giving a tip after every after every episode lately. So today's tip is, it's a very simple tip. It's very easy to do. This is not complicated at all. This is for people with gas cars. This is a tip for gas golf cart owners. Gas golf carts are very, you got to understand, golf carts in general, but including gas, they're designed from the mechanic's point of view, because they go to the golf course and you got 50 of them or 60 of them there, and you got a mechanic that shows up and he may have to change the oil in 50 cars in one day. You know, so the car is designed to make all of these things simple to do. So gas cart owners, this is the tip. Change your oil, your air filter, your oil filter, your fuel filters, and examine your belts for cracking once a year. And that's even if you use your car a lot. Just do it once a year, and you don't have to do anything for the rest of the year except put gas in it. I mean, that's pretty low maintenance. Now, if your car has some 𝗟𝗂𝘁𝗍 on the front end, you know what I mean by 𝗟𝗂𝘁𝘍. 𝗟𝗂𝘁𝘍 are grease gun fittings. There may be some movable sections on your spindles that have some 𝗟𝗂𝘁𝘍 on them. If they do, that would be the time to squirt some grease in your 𝗟𝗂𝘁𝘍. You know, there's not any on the rear of a golf cart, but there might be some on the front of yours, depending on which model you have. So if you'll just put it in your phone to remind you in January or whenever you'd like, once a year, to do your oil, your air, you can buy the whole kit from Golf Cart Garage for your particular car. Get that over with, and you don't have to worry about it for another year. You'll be a whole lot less likely that your cart will let you down if you'll do that. All right. Let's see. That looks like it's going to be it. Don't forget, if you like this content, then to comment, like, and subscribe. If you would like to speak with me about your golf cart related issue before you order parts, or if you think I might be able to help you with something, click the link in the description. That will take you to the scheduling page for Gearheads On Demand, and you'll be able to pick a time that you want me to call you, or that you want me to send you a link, and then you can click the link and I can look through your phone. I can see what you're pointing at. But a lot of times it just takes a phone call, you know, that I might be able to help you with just a phone call. So let's see, that's going to be about it. So we will see everybody on Tuesday, Tim Tuesday Thursday. Now, if you don't want to remember that, then subscribe, and you get notified. Then you don't have to remember Tim Tuesday Thursday. You know, it's noon Central Time, Tim Tuesday Thursday. But just subscribe and you'll get notified. You won't have to worry about it. All right, I'll see everybody next Tuesday. Garage is now closed.